It's a pleasure to welcome the guy behind this event. It's the 8th edition, and safe to say, in my eyes, it might actually be the most successful edition. I don't know if you agree, but just looking at the numbers, how it went, new game, a lot of hype, a new champion. But I guess we talk a lot about that later. But first of all, the most important thing, ZrT, welcome. How are you now after the 8th edition of the Cup is over?
Thank you, Eirik. I'm really fine. That was a really tough edition for me, and I think for Nadeo, but it went good at the end. So I think it was a great success. Yeah, you said it by the number of viewers, but yeah, I'm really happy about this edition.
Yeah, if we just talk about this edition first and then maybe go back to the story of how everything was cancelled. But talking about this edition first, how is the first impression now on a Wednesday after the weekend is over? Are you pleased with how it feels? Are you somewhat like, the spectating bug on the semi-final was ruining it? What is the first impression you have?
Well, everyone had a little fear about the spectating bug, in semifinals, but it went really good. I think the best thing I have to say is, fortunately, we didn't have the Bercy final this year because the game was not ready. I think this is really the main thought about everything. I am really excited about Bercy. In May in 2021, because this will be a really new game with new blocks and new stuff, and with my experience of the game and Nadeo too. So I think this is really the first thought I have to think about.
Yeah, that is something also my mother taught me. Like, you should always pick long-term happiness over short-term happiness.
Oh
Sure,
yeah.
it's sad to not see it this year, but just gonna get more hype for next year, and we just know that next year is gonna be better. But looking at this year, if you talk about the qualifications first, what is your takeaway from it? My takeaway was basically that it was so French dominated, basically 6 French players, and then you have CarlJr, who is somewhat adopted in France, and Yannex, who is also somewhat French. What is your takeaway?
Yeah, we had 6,000 players, so it's really huge. Even if we had only 4,000 players participating on the last day, but yeah, this was really French dominating cup. I don't know why. Maybe because the game was so fresh and we did a really great push of communication in France with my stream, etc. Even if we saw that Lyric and big US streamer streamed it, you already said that in your Twitter. I saw it with the stats of every stream, etc. So yeah, it was a really great push and really great start for the new Trackmania. But yeah, we had a lot of French player. I cannot really explain why. I really don't know myself, but honestly, the game has a really great success in France. So maybe this is the main explanation.
But also a takeaway I had was that this is a new game, so I thought it was been more new players. But you know it, you have hosted these cups, you have seen CarlJr, you've seen Gwen, Papu, Orwell, Bad Lulu. So
Yeah.
did you expect more new players to actually qualify into the semifinals and the final?
I have to say yes. I was expecting more new players, but we had 2 new players in semifinal. That's a beginning. We'll see after 6 or 7 months if approximately 1 year of training will be enough to reach CarlJr, to reach Gwen. Now I don't really. I really don't know what will be the scene of Trackmania in 6 or 7 months. This will be the main interest of April, May. So yeah, we'll see if it's only French focus at this time, or maybe more international player. But you know, now you have also the TMGL, who is really international. So maybe international player who, I don't know, don't like the ZrT style, maybe are focused on TMGL. Maybe that's why it's so French, but this is not a problem for me.
But then if you look at the semifinals after the qualifications was over, what semifinals did you think was going to be the most exciting? Did you think that maybe the first semifinal because maybe a closer level? Did you think the battle between Gwen and CarlJr? What semifinal did you somewhat feel the most hyped about casting?
I don't really know. After, I can say maybe the first, because it was really close, and as a caster, I always like close match. That's obvious. But the second semifinal, I think showed that CarlJr was also dominating this game. So this was really impressive because I didn't really know what was going on with CarlJr. Was he really focused on that game or not? So yeah, that was a really good proof that CarlJr. is still here and ready to fight.
And then I quickly want to just talk about the first semifinals. I didn't understand it because I don't speak French, but it was looking like the spectating bug. Can you tell the English community or the international community what went through your head when it was like, oh no, I cannot spectate Aurel, and then afterwards it was like, oh no, I cannot spectate Bren either.
Yeah, it was really strange because I never experienced a bug like that in Trackmania. So at the beginning, you're not always sure because you're like, is it a cheat? Is it a bug? Is it an exploit? You don't really know. And then I really understood that it was a bug because you saw the CP and the time, the correct time with Aurel. So I was like, okay, this is the first semi. But the most surprising was this didn't happen in quarterfinal, eighth final, etc. So I was like, okay, what is the difference? Why do we have this bug now? And Hillis told me that they pushed a patch where they had this bug, so they had to fix it live, and it worked. So that was great. But yeah, I was really I don't know. I was surprised. You see someone on a wall and turning, and you're like, okay, he's driving. I think so. I'm not sure about this. And then he comes first. So you're like, okay, he's first, but he's on the wall. Maybe that's normal. I don't know. And then on the ice map, La Reine des Neiges, where everyone was not on the correct place. So I am like, okay, Bren is not here. Aurel is not at this place. Okay, what is happening right now? And I think it was just Papu. Papu was at the correct place, I think. And he finished like second, but you have someone first, someone just behind him, but you can see no one. It was really strange. But we didn't have this in final. So yeah, it was fixed really quickly. That was a really great success for Nadeo.
Yeah, because let's say that was happening in the final. Do you think that maybe the cup could have been somewhat, I don't know, broken or have some sort of shadow over it?
I don't know. This was really, for me, this was like a beta cup, This was a stress test. This was a try. And I think everyone understood it with that new game, with that new server side, etc. So this was really complicated, and we can't cancel everything. We can like say, okay, let's do this. Let's do this the next weekend. No, yeah. we can't do that. So yeah, if we had this bug in final, I think we would have to play. I don't know. I don't really know, but it was fixed. So
yeah, exactly.
There was no problem. That's really cool for me. There was absolutely no problem in final.
But then going into the grand final, we saw that three sort of veterans of this cup, CarlJr playing for the 7th time, Gwen for the 6th time, and Aurel for the 4th time. But then there was a player who was there for the first time. It was Gwen. He was in Strasbourg last year, but sadly he didn't qualify to the grand final.
Yep.
Had a hard time backstage, but now he was in the grand final. Before that grand final, how did you view the player's skill level? Who do you have as a potential winner in your eyes?
So we did a round series before the cup. I think 1 week before, or maybe 2. And Gwen was really successful during this training. And I was like, okay, but how will it be the D-Day? So yeah. I wasn't sure about how can he make it through the final because of last year, as you said it. But we really saw that he was really strong. So I was really confident about Gwen, and I was like, Gwen is really strong this year. Can he beat CarlJr? We don't really know. CarlJr is at his most powerful level. I mean, we didn't know. So before the final, honestly, I couldn't say who could win that. I mean, I was focused on Bren, CarlJr, but this is every year, This is every year. You have the same player in this head, and then we had the semi with Gwen. But before we had quarter with Gwen.
Yeah.
He was really dominating everyone, bursting the leaderboard. I was like, whoa, what the fuck is happening, guys? He was really, really owning that. And on the semi day, I was like, okay, this was not a lucky day. This is just Gwen playing his best level and owning everyone. So yeah, this is not a surprise. The best is always winning in Trackmania, and I think this year the best player won.
Mm. Yeah, that's also the feeling I have. It's sort of like, okay, it's cool to have a new champion, but it's also cool to have the champion being someone that you feel, okay, you
Of
actually
course.
won it, deserved. He beat CarlJr in semifinal, now he beat him in the grand final. I don't know how much you follow Gwen's history in this game, but do you think Gwen is now potentially going to be the biggest challenger for CarlJr in the upcoming events, or was this because he's young, maybe play the game more and the new game more?
Well, the thing really cool for me, Eirik, is that this is a really cool storytelling element that Gwen won the cup this year. Because yeah, next year that will be the return of the king, or
Yeah.
maybe not. So yeah, this is really cool for me. Next year I will be, yeah, is Carl Jr. can make it? I don't really know. Oh my god, what is happening? Is Gwen the best player? We don't know. So this will be a story like that. So this is really interesting for me. But this will be on stage, hopefully. This will be on stage. So I think this will be really different because Carl Jr. Is really best. He is really a best player when he has the audience behind him and yelling on stage, etc. Where Gwen, on the contrary, is maybe stressed by that. So I think this will be really really hard for Gwen to do the same performance on stage.
Hmm. Yeah, you mentioned the storylines. I'm also somewhat, I don't know, happy is the right word, but I'm sort of, okay, I'm going to say happy because now I also can be like this with CarlJr. Are you going to come back? Are you going to win it?
Yeah.
Is Gwen the new king? But you know CarlJr. You have had him in your team. You have hosted now 8 editions. He has played every single event of yours. Do you think
Yes.
he's going to be motivated by this? Do you think it's going to be like, okay, it's natural that someone comes up? Or do you think it's going to be like, it's time to prove who is the king once we come to AccorHotels Arena?
Yeah, I spoke to him after the event. I was like, so how is your motivation right now? Do you think are you too old to play games? And he was like, man, I was never so motivated ever. Like the Gwen winning was really a push for him. A hit in the head. It's like, okay, there are new players. Do you see me? I'm Gwen. Hey, so I really think Carl Jr. will take the next edition by the with the most serious he can take. So that will be, yeah, I think a great edition because Carl really want to win the last title in Bercy because this will be the climax of the Trackmania Cup. Everyone knows it. So Carl knows it too, and he really want to win this title in particular.
If we quickly just talk about this year's editions and then move on to next year's edition, I'm following the international scene pretty closely. I can only read that because I cannot read what your community is thinking. But a question or a problem they have with this cup is like, why no English cast? Can you just tell people why didn't you continue what you started in 2016 when Spam was allowed to cast it? And what do you think about the players that is time and time again like, he's not allowing the English community to have a cast. He only wants to speak in French. What is the reason why we don't have an English cast for this cup?
Yeah, that's a good question. And this is really difficult for me because the Trackmania Cup is a show and a competition. I mean, a esport challenge and a show. So this is really strange for me because this is also a ZeratoR show, a Trackmania show, but also an esport event. And every esport event has an English cast, right? So this is really difficult for me. Where can I put the frontier between that? This year, I didn't put an English cast because for me it was really a beta cup, as I said, a trying cup, beginning of a new Trackmania. This was really the smallest Trackmania event ever since the beginning of stage with the Grand Rex in 2015, I guess.
16?
16, yeah. So yeah, this was really I don't know. As we say in France, comme à la maison. It's like when you're home and you're chill. you have like feet in sleepers, and you're you're really chill at home. So it was like this. This Trackmania edition for me was like this, and yeah, I know English people are always angry about that. Like, why no English cast? I don't understand. But my answer is often that you can really understand the game even if there is a French caster. I know this is not enough for the explanation of no English cast, but we have to think about the Trackmania edition as a show, not at not with an esports show, So it's like translating a show when you're an English caster. I don't think this is really interesting. I don't really know. It's really a tough question and difficult for me to choose because the Trackmania Cup is not just the game, It's the audience, it's me on stage, it's the fun with the map and the fun with the lore of the map, etc., which is understandable only by French people. So yeah, this is a French show. We did try to add some English casters. This had really no great success every year. So I'm not sure about the necessary of putting an English caster. That's the answer. And did we lost Eirik?
I'm back. I'm back.
Okay, you're back.
Yeah, sorry, just continue.
Okay, you're back. No, I'm done with it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm fine.
Yeah, because I also try to, I don't know if defend is the right word, but somewhat try to explain it to the people. That's sort of why I made this video about how you change Trackmania. I think people in the English community that is so esport focused should understand that it is a show first. That's what you wanted to have, and then maybe esport is second. But let's say that Riolo cast it, or let's say that I was supposed to cast it. Our head works the way that, okay, we don't really care that it's show. We just want to say esport. We give it the foundation of this whole cup. Have I been explaining the people the wrong, or have I somewhat made up the correct mind when trying to defend you at least?
No, I think this is exactly what I think. That the first goal of this event was make fun about Trackmania and make fun about my stream, and it became that sort of big esport event, but a show too, and a ZeratoR show, a Trackmania show. We don't really know. So yeah, the frontier is really thin. And it's really complicated to explain that when people are asking why no English cast, because yeah, this is not an esport event for me. This is a bit different. So yeah, so yeah, you're right.
That's good. So then I don't want to have a bad sleep tonight. But last topic for me about this year's edition in particular. In the qualifications, I was like, okay, maybe I expected ZeratoR to have higher numbers. I believe your peak was 86,000, but then, of course, Domingo was streaming it, Kameto. But the numbers you pulled in the grand final was like, okay, he actually did it again, even if it was an online edition. He actually take it another step. Are you feeling the same that, oh, I actually achieved numbers I didn't expect? Or did you think that the new game, the new hype, now everything has to be online, you cannot take 15,000 people off them, put them in an offline edition? Did you expect this?
Well, I never expect anything when we talk about numbers on Twitch. But the truth is, this year was a really big year for Twitch because of the COVID, etc. So many people discovered Twitch. We had, I don't know, maybe a 30%, 50% number of viewers on Twitch. More I mean more viewers. And I think Trackmania Cup was on that, like on this curve, more people on Twitch, more people on Trackmania Cup. But we also hit a limit, I think. I don't really know, because every year it's bigger. So every year I said, yeah, maybe this is the limit, and every year it's bigger. So this is false. But yeah, I was not expecting anything. The main goal of Trackmania Cup every year is to put this on stage and have people on the audience, and to have every seat filled with people. That's the main goal. And if we can do a great show for Twitch, that's really cool too. But that's the second point, okay?
Mm.
So yeah, every year it's a great success. I was not expecting anything, but we did bigger than than last year, like every year.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
so maybe next year will be bigger too. I don't know, because many people will left Twitch with the no COVID. I think, but yeah, this is really amazing. Honestly, this is really strange, because I'm doing this in my room. I'm doing my races alone. I'm like, okay, let's put that here, and then you have a big event on stage. That's still crazy for me, you know.
Yeah, I mean, what you do is crazy. But if you
Yeah,
then if you then go back to talk with the last time we spoke, it was in Lyon, and
yeah,
after, let's say, 2 weeks after, I was like, oh, I forgot to actually bring up the most important part, because Corona was already a little topic then, but I don't think I expected it to be such a big topic. I don't know if you did, but
yeah,
just
of
after
course.
that, it somewhat made an impact. But when did you know that, okay, Corona has actually made such a big impact that my cup in a AccorHotels arena is in danger?
I really didn't decide anything about this. It was with the organization, ZQSD production, and yeah, also me. But I don't have anything to say. It's like, can we do this? No, okay, don't do this.
Mm.
I really have to trust everyone about this. I'm not an expert in healthcare or health anything. So I was like, okay, just the main goal was just we have to do this, even if this is in 6 months, 1 year, maybe 2 years. We have to do this. We promise. We have to. We need to do this. We must do this, and we achieved to find a date. An event in a place on the calendar, you know, at the end of May. We were like, okay, we have this Saturday free for us, and we took it immediately, because this was we I mean, I was I was like, I must do Bercy. We did this.
Yeah.
Every seat was filled. We sold every seat, almost every seat. And yeah, but I couldn't decide anything before that, because you know, I was like, can we do this? No. Can we do this? Yes. I just followed. I just really followed.
But then, if you talk about yourself, I think at least I have an impression of you want to do everything bigger each year. That's what you said in Strasbourg with me. But now you sort of have things out of your control. You cannot maybe necessarily do this 2020 edition bigger because there is no offline event. How much does that affect your motivation going into a cup like this? Is it like, did you ever think about, okay, let's just skip this online edition and just wait until next year when this is offline again? Or how has your motivation been impacted by you having to rebook a AccorHotels arena?
At the beginning, I was like, let's don't do anything. I was like, no Trackmania this year, because I was upset about this. I was depressed about this. I was like, this is really a shit news, etc. And then came the new game, and that was really cool, because I was like, okay, we can do a beta cup. We can do a test cup for Bercy. We can test this game. We can test the new blocks, test the new servers, test the players, the hype around the event. And really, the new game saved me about this decision. uh if that wasn't Trackmania 2, maybe I had skipped this year. I think.
Hmm. Yeah. But then if you talk about the new game, you were lucky enough to announce it together with the creator Hillis on stage in Lyon. It's sort of a long time between you announcing it and it was actually released because they had to also postpone it. But what is your first impression of this new game now that it's been out for soon a month to the public?
Well, the main problem for me is that you have only roadblocks. That's a really strange thing. People are not happy with roadblock. I mean, I need pipes. I need castle. I need zeppelin. I need stuff like that. But this will come. This will come sooner, I hope. So yeah, but of course, this was like Christmas for me. It's a new game. You have tons of new blocks, and but no water. Yeah, like like they said on chat, no water is really great. Is a really really hard problem. So yeah, this was like Christmas, as I said. I was really exciting because I didn't touch the game before I shown it on live, and that was true. Maybe I tested it like in Nadeo for 30 minutes. Maybe that they showed me something that they were like, okay, you have this, you have this. Maybe you will have this, you will have this. It was in November last year, so really long time ago. And then I saw it at Lyon Esport when we shown the game to the audience. That was really amazing. And when I had the chance to touch the game at the end of June, I was like a child in Christmas, of course.
But if you think about how the state of Trackmania is at the moment, of course, it's cool once actually see Solar Puppet and people are streaming it, because then it felt somewhat international. But at least I have the personal feeling that maybe now is slowly but surely moving back to where France is by far the biggest country, and maybe the international community is still feeling behind. Is that some sort of impression you have? What is the impression from the French community about the international community?
Well, I think it's a bit early to talk about that because this is really the beginning of the game, and we had the really great push with the Trackmania Cup. So this was really French focused. I mean, the release of the game was really French focused. We have to see maybe in 1 year after the 2021 TM Cup, um, wha- uh, and maybe with the TMGL bringing more international hype and viewers and casters and people like that. So I think this is really too early. Too early to talk about, is it French focused? Will it be esports? Will it be international? I don't really have thought about this because I think this is really too early. We are in like 30 days of playing this game, so yeah, this is really really early.
Last topic for me is going to be the
Yes.
next year's edition. You said that that will be the climax. That is something, I don't know, the international community is somewhat at least scared about. Is that going to be the last edition? Can you just tell people, is the next year's edition the last edition? If not, what do you think about the future of your event? Tell people, what is the future of the ZrT Trackmania Cup?
That's the question, Eirik. I don't know. Now, the correct answer is we have only three choices. I think we can do bigger. We can do approximately the same, and maybe smallest. Do we say like that? A small event, a big
Yeah.
event, or maybe the same. But we have another choice, and this another choice is maybe change the competition, change the way we bring Trackmania with player, we work with it, etc. I really like this option, but I don't have. I really don't have a main plan to follow in my head. So I really have to think about it again. um just I don't think we can do bigger. I mean, in France right now, not for the 10 next years, but in France right now, we can't do bigger because bigger mean do the double of the people in Bercy, because you reach a stadium then, almost a stadium. So this is really too early for that. But maybe, yeah, change the competition, change the way I bring Trackmania to my viewers and the people. This will be the goal and maybe the aim of my reflection.
Yeah, and something you mentioned there about maybe changing it up. You did it last year with having duo mode. This year
Yeah,
was solo
that's
mode.
right.
What now you have gone back to solo mode? Is next year's edition solo mode? Can you tell us already? Is it duo mode? What is next year's edition going to be in format?
I really can't tell you. But the thing I can tell you is I was sure about my choice for Bercy, and now I saw the duo and solo again. I was like, maybe we have to think about it again. I can tell you that, but yeah, I took a decision for Bercy.
Oh, you took a decision. Well,
Yeah.
once you want to go public with it, you know where to find me, and I will be happy to announce it to the English community.
Yeah, I know where to find you.
But thank you so much for taking so much time to speak with the international community, to speak with me. Is there any final words to the international communities that have now been fan of your cups for, it's 7 years since we started the first edition. I think people
Yes.
like myself has followed it since basically 7 years.
Well, last year, I'm sorry from the English cast. I hope you understood my decision. This is a really tough question for me, but this is really hard to set up, and maybe Not the goal of the event. I don't know. This is really difficult. I know this is a problem for you, but well, this is a really visual game. You can see everyone. I know, and French is a really great language. Like you hear it, you
Yeah.
hear it. It's like we sing on your head, into your head. So yeah, I think you have to be kind about it. And but thank you everyone, of course, for following the event. You are each year again bigger and bigger. So this is amazing.
Thank you so much again, and I can already book a ticket for Stade de France in 2022, right?
Don't say that, Eirik.
I will.
I told you
will.
this is too early.
Oh, or leaked. Oh, sorry. But thank you so much, and now it's that's it for ZeratoR. And up next should be Orwell if he is waiting in the shadows there. But if you want to follow ZeratoR, you can do it on Twitch. He's the biggest Trackmania streamer. So yeah, thanks again, ZeratoR.
Thank you, Eirik. See you.